Welcome to Stirring Strength. I'm your host, Dean Anderson, and this is Perspectives on Mental Health and Addiction. And on today's show, we have Andy Thibodeau. I know him as Andrew Thibodeau. Andrew, Andy, as he's found online, is the founder and creator of Impact Presentations, correct?
I am, yes.
Okay. So the reason I asked you on the show today, Andrew, is because I've been watching you for a really long time and the work you're doing and the impact that you're having with youth and students. And I would love to talk a little bit more about what it is that you do at Impact.
My pleasure. It's great to be here. Great to support the wonderful work you've done over the decades and watch your journey. And there I was, 1988, the newly elected student council president of Laurier Secondary School, remain a part of our alumni support group called Rams for Life. So that's why I still got my Laurier Rams ring here and wristband. So it was 1988. I just won the election to be president of Laurier. I won the election because nobody ran against me. And I had this idea, why wait till September to get the grade 9s excited about going to high school? Why don't I go visit them in June with the new student council and get them excited about things like, hey, we're having our first musical in a few years. Try out for the fall sports right away, cross country, basketball, volleyball, and football. And take class seriously, right? The most failed courses tend to be in grade 9, right? The grade 9 math or the grade 9 French. And basically it was the very first time, Dean, I had to do a presentation that wasn't the classic classroom presentation or I'm running for student council presentation. And so I sat there as a 18-year-old, because we had grade 13 back in those days, and I had to create something that was inspiring. And basically what I wrote down was, what do I know now as an 18-year-old that I wish I knew in grade 8? And that was the start of my very first motivational talk. And I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, I wish I knew that, by being cut on the first day of grade 9, failure is an event, not a person. And I initially felt like a failure as a person. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't try to go to a student council meeting in October of grade 9 because, well, my buddies didn't want to go and I've already been cut from football. And even though I was in student council in grade 8, I'm not going to go. And I look back with that with some regret. So in other words, I can't stop them from not making the basketball, volleyball, or football team. But what I can maybe get them think about is, well, maybe I should have got into volleyball when football door closed. Maybe I still should have gone to that student council meeting in grade 9, even though I was going to go on my own. So the 5 feeder schools of Laurier, including yours, Wilton Grove, booked me to speak with the rest of the student council. And I know it would be the start of my career, because what happened was we had a great reaction. And it was wonderful to get the feedback from these 8th graders saying, hey, I feel better about high school. And then we saw the results that fall and into the 88, 89 year. More participation in our dances, pep rallies, just willingness to come to a meeting and help us plan the next. And so in the spring of 89 comes along, I'm about to graduate Laurier. The elementary schools called Laurier back and wanted me to come back. And initially I said no, because I said, well, I'm graduating, we should send the new president. But I said, but we liked your message. So I came up with something more in the middle. Okay, the new president will come, in this case it was Tanya, and I'll do my piece called Dare to Care, which ended up becoming now Share Your Care. And then the new president will talk. And that's how I got started, where for several springs, I would do that. No pay, just to make Laurier better, my community better. And then the big break came in December of 91, when me and my buddy Stu Saunders volunteered to speak at a leadership conference for all the London area schools. It was at London Central. After this workshop, which was based on how did Laurier be named the most spirited school in Canada in 1989 by Much Music? How did we win that? And we answered that question. And that's where that next form of motivation for me came from, Dean. There was that first of, how do I make these new students have a better experience at Laurier? And what do I know now that I wish I knew then? And secondly, 1991, here's a group of student leaders that have asked a powerful question. How did you win? And instead of keeping that information to myself or to my old high school, let's share it. Let me share with you what we did successfully, not just that event in June of 1989, but the year and a half leading up to it, because the year before we got 4th in Canada. What lessons did we take from that first event in 88 to that winning event in 89? And that's where I created my first leadership workshop called Permission, Promotion, Preparation of Leadership, which is now my workshop called Making Care Contagious. And that was what really catapulted my career. After that speech, 3 schools came up to me and Stu. Oak Ridge, my very first professional gig ever, South and Montcalm, and then a conference at Beale. And they were like, wow, you guys are great. How much you cost? You want to speak at our school? I had to whisper to my buddy Stu Saunders, Stu, how much do we cost, man? they just paid us in a 20-pack of Timbits, right? And 3 of those Timbits were planes. They don't even count, right? So 17 Timbits. And I got to share that with Stu. And so I was at Western University, King's College, going through to be a teacher. I volunteered to speak at this event, knowing that it was a great way to give back, but also continue me in my teaching journey, never thinking that the speaking would take off and not the teaching. And that was the start of my career. By that spring of 1992, I started to fit in school assemblies and conferences in between classes. By the fall of 92, I was a part-time student, part-time speaker, and by fall of 1993, full-time speaker. So I've just celebrated over 33 years of being a professional impact speaker traveling North America.
Wow.
Thank you.
What a journey.
Thank you.
I'm hearing and picking all these pieces out, and my mind is going, the power of being a speaker and the crossover between being an educator is such a huge thing that I think is overlooked, of having that capacity to speak and teach are one and the same. So, but you're even in your speaking, you're still kind of a teacher, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, exactly.
Right. You talked about Much Music and the award. I was gratefully part of that. I was in my 3rd year, 10, 11, whatever, in 89.
The MOGA, the Most Outrageous Group Activity. It was sponsored by Much Music and Fitness Canada.
There you
go. It was
go.
An annual school spirit contest.
Yeah.
And right, exactly.
Tell me more about it, because I think it's fascinating. Like,
well, it was fascinating. It was a neat time to be in school, and Much Music was really of that era, right? Canada's MTV, and you had to plan an activity on a particular date, and I think it was June 4th, 1989 was that second one. And you would then take video of it, take pictures, submit a report, submit it to Much Music, and they would crown a national championship champion and a top 10 based on certain criteria. How many people were involved? Was there a charity aspect? And was there physical movement involved? Because Fitness Canada was also a sponsor. And London had a tremendous run. We had 3 national champions in a row. Westminster won it in 87. Shout out to my buddy Kent Guy out there. You got this, Kent. 1988, Banting won. So they did a great job with their shower power MOGA hour. I even remember that. And we got 4th that year. So that year I was on the MOGA committee. Our Aqua MOGA, our water-themed MOGA. I don't know if you were a part of that. We were outside on the field in the shape of a ram's head, doing a aerobic dance to the song like Rams in the Rain, and being sprayed with water. But we learned lessons that we thought, how do we roll this into 89 and to maybe hopefully winning it, which seemed like a tremendous goal when 600-700 schools submit applications. And it was kind of flukish how we got the idea. We had a couple meetings. Nobody had brought forward what I thought was a good idea, and I think this ties into well to what we're talking about today. It was February of 1989. I'm 19 years old. I'm at a party playing euchre, the class that you do as a 19-year-old in the 80s, playing euchre, and I shared a barrier. Right? Share your barrier is often a statement I share in my leadership workshops and in my curriculum-based workshops where I'm working with career classes, entrepreneur classes, business classes, and in the special high skills major where students can take a career major in grade 11, 12. When we keep those barriers in, we feel alone, we feel like nobody understands what we're going through, and you feel a weight. The reverse is share that barrier. What are you dealing with? And help may come from surprising sources. So at this euchre table, I shared my barrier. I said to a whole bunch of people, not one of which was on student council, hey, we're struggling. We have yet to come up with what we think is a good idea for our MOGA, our Most Outrageous Group Activity. Last year we had remember we had the water balloon fight, and we had the water obstacle course, and we ended with the Rams in the Rain. We got 4th in Canada. Like, we had that great image of everybody in the Rams head. It was great, but we're just not, we're stuck. And out of nowhere, to my left, Rob says, you know what's great about the pep rally in October? What? It was at night, right? We had that night outdoor pep rally. Remember how great that was? Oh, yeah. So why don't you do something at night? Okay, great. What should we do? I'm not sure, man. Just do it at night. But that was the first little seed, right? Because most people do their activity during the day. That's how you get most participation.
Get the students
Get out of class.
during class
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
I still remember like it was yesterday, Dean. It's really weird. I forget yesterday, but I remember this moment. So then we end up in the living room, and I then continue that share your barrier. Hey, Rob had a pretty good idea that we should maybe do the MOGA at night. And I'm aware. Haley. Hello, Haley. She's still out there. She's part of a ownership group that owns Kelsey's and other restaurants in this area. Haley says, yeah, we should like a Halloween in June type of thing. I don't know, like make the school into a haunted house or something like that. That's it. That's it. Yeah, like Midnight MOGA. Midnight MOGA. To the point where I called my buddy Stu, who remains one of my best friends to this day, because he was my right-hand man on student council, Derek and Michelle and Stu and I were the executive. I said, Stu, I got the winning idea for MOGA. What are you doing waking me up in the morning, man? Like 1 in the morning. No, you gotta listen. Transform the entire school into a haunted house at night in June. Every hallway's like a different theme. Then you end up in the gym for like a dance. A long pause on the other side of the line. That's awesome. I know. And it was the winning idea. It was the winning idea because then you had this element where I could break down each hallway to a different theme. You end up in the gym. We asked a couple of grade 13 girls, Tracy and Pam, to come up with a thriller-style aerobic dance to the song The Monster Mash. So they replicated kind of a thriller with this and this. And what amazing video of students running through the hallways, trying to avoid the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman, to ninjas in the desert, to a pirate ship in the art hallway. Miss Jennings, hello. Shout out to Legend of Miss Jennings. And little did I know that would be all the basis of my career, right? Where now I'm speaking at Saunders Secondary School a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm speaking at the Ontario Student Leadership Conference at Sheridan at the Falls in Niagara Falls. Now I just get an email to go back to Stamford, New York. And so I'm working with the student leaders. I take the lessons of how did we get 1,100 to 1,400 students to come back at night in June to drop $2, which all went to the Children's Miracle Network Telethon, to end up in the gym for a massive dance. What did we do right? And also, what did we do wrong earlier that we worked on, that we fixed? And what lessons can you then take from this workshop and training and start using right away with your own upcoming Cancer Fair fundraiser, your own food drive, your own upcoming, in the case of America, homecoming dance? And that's been the basis of my career.
Cool. The reason why I'm so fascinated with the most outrageous group activity is because I participated in those couple of years. I don't know if it was just an atypical student experience, but those couple of years for me were different in the level of connection and the things that happened in my life throughout the rest of my school career, any university college experiences. There was a difference in that. And then I said to you before we aired, there was something, throughout pandemic where there's a lot of separation, and I'm seeing my children, had a big gap where they missed 2 years of school in the middle, where they were the formidable ones for me. And it's a big part of mental health and connection and collaboration. So the reason why I want you on the show is to talk about how, the work that you're doing is integrating and building connection and helping mental health. And what does that look like? And, some of the viewers might be like, why are we talking about a thing that happened in 1989? But it's so critical because it's so meaningful to what that looks like. And I think that part of our future is figuring out how to create more connection or more of these group activities, more of this bigger villages of what makes us whole and connected, and the more separation we see, the more increase we see in mental health. So that's why you're here, right? So the work that you're doing is building upon that, and I'd love to hear more about how you believe that the work that you do and the work that you're doing with the schools impacts mental health in general.
Absolutely. I'm part of the support network, I'd like to think, of what schools are already doing. I rarely, if not never, walk into a school and go, oh, wow, do they ever need my help? I'm thinking, wow, look at this great idea. Look at this great tradition. Look at these wonderful, enthusiastic student leaders and their supportive teachers and administrators. How can I add to their message? The schools are running the events. They have the meetings. They have the clubs, councils, teams, charities. Now it's up to you, the individual, to decide, am I going to go quiet and listen to the announcements? Am I going to follow our student leadership groups on Instagram to become aware of the next event? And then do I allow myself to have the courage to go, hey, are we going to go to that game after school? Hey, do you want to come to that meeting with me? Hey, are we dressing up for the Spirit Day? And if they don't want to dress up for the Spirit Day, they don't want to go to the meeting, they don't want to stay after school, you go, well, I'm going to go. And I'm going to stand beside somebody new. Or realize that my example of going to the game, we use the term now a buyout, right, for United Way. Or if I go to the meeting, all of a sudden I have a friend with a minute to go goes, are you still going to that meeting? Yeah. Can I come? And you realize something, that you're a leader, not because you gave a big speech, but because you said, well, I'm still going to go.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that in grade 9. I didn't do that in grade 10. I didn't do that in grade 11. I love those friends I spent time with, but they just weren't into student council. And yet my grade 8 student council friends was wonderful. So what stopped me? Well, they're not going. Well, finally in grade 12, that confidence piece really picked up because of two things. One, 3 years of track and field running with the great Don Young as coach and the wonderful teammates I had. But two, trying out for senior football and making the team because there's no cuts. And in a way, inclusion at its finest. Track and field was inclusive because Mr. Young said, hey, as long as you help fundraise and you go to practice, you're on the team. I'm not tracking ribbons. I'm tracking participation. And I didn't win my first ribbon until grade 11. By the way, it was a 5th. That's the white ribbon. and what that does for you. Secondly, then by senior football, you just don't have as much participation in junior football, and you always need somebody to hit in practice. Why not hit me, right? And so then that shot of courage allowed me to go to a student council meeting of my own in that fall of 1988. So what I do with my storytelling is tell students that story, that I know their journey of self-confidence challenges. And that here I am as a 55-year-old, I know I come across as confident and fun, and I got 2 kids, and I travel North America, and I have no problem dancing, and I have no problem with silence, all these things, looking at people in the eye. And you must think, I was always like that. No, I was just like you, struggling, trying to figure out, hot and cool in grade 5, temperatures you learn in science. 2 years later, hot and cool in grade 7, describe people. Are you hot? Are you cool? Do you need a thermometer? Right? And by the way, in grade 7, I was neither hot nor cool. Right? So then what I've learned in my career is when you start, you have your funny stories, you have these big points. But what really made my career exciting pretty quickly was the ability then to teach. So here's this evening event. We want to maximize participation in order to better what we did last year, getting 4th place. What did I learn? Yes, we'll do posters. Yes, we'll do announcements. And the third way we can now promote things, social media. But there's still what I call one-way communication, right? That goes out but doesn't come back, goes out, doesn't come back. So teaching student leaders the principle of two-way communication. That is, yes, we'll still do posters, but posters will fall down, posters get ignored. Yes, we'll still do announcements, even though some situations, they're almost borderline useless. Have you ever been in a gym during announcements? You just can't hear them.
Sure.
And my own daughters have commented that sometimes their Instagram feed gets busy or they don't necessarily follow that group on Instagram and things get missed. And they're as tech savvy as anybody. My daughter 2 years ago walked into Central and realized it was Cultural Day and she didn't know, right? So the old school classic, tomorrow's Spirit Day, I'd love to see you dress up. Hey, the meeting's today. You want to meet me at my at the locker at 11:30? We can go to the meeting together. Hey, tickets are on sale starting today for the musical next week. The power of that, right? Because if you just rely on one-way communication, plus everybody's battling self-confidence issues, right? It's easy to say, okay, first off, I've missed the promotion, or I've seen the promotion, but that's not for me. I've never been to a musical before. I don't want to go to that meeting on my own. Terry Fox run last period on a Friday in September, it's 22 degrees. But then if somebody approaches you and says, I'd love to see you there, and then gets the name right, and even maybe it makes the extension, we're always looking for helpers. Have you ever thought of? That's powerful, right? And I teach student
That's a whole level of inclusion.
Exactly. But I also add it to my assemblies. Challenge the students. Not saying they have to get involved in everything. Absolutely not. But for example, even though I'm a dramatic, inspirational speaker, I actually wasn't in the musical when we did Kiss Me Kate when you were in grade 10 and I was in grade 13. But I went to it, right? I went to it. And that's a great thing. Pick a few things and then support the rest in your own way. Even the cross-country meet, I went to all my years. Like I've been working in schools for 33 years plus, high school, elementary school. I did something this fall I've never done in my schooling career. You know what that was, Dean? I went to a cross-country meet.
Oh.
Because my daughter, 12th grade London Central, joined track cross-country. And I thought, what a unique opportunity for me to go to my very first cross-country meet. Because I used to joke, it's actually one of my jokes in a positive way in my speech where I promote cross-country because it's often underappreciated because it backs up against girls basketball, boys volleyball, and football, right?
Sure.
And because it's hard to be an audience member at a cross-country meet. This is what it is. This is a fan at a cross-country meet. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, here they come. Go, 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 go. All right, we're good. We're done. Okay.
That's it.
And then that's it, because you can't run with them.
No.
Otherwise, you might as well be on the team. It's not like NASCAR.
Yeah, they're not coming back around. Yeah.
But even that symbolism to my daughter's teammates, to my daughter, bluntly myself, and now part of my speaking is what does stop you from going to that situation. And at a minimum, can you at least say to your cross-country buddy, hey, I can't go to the meet because it is at noon, and I do have class, and they're not running a bus to it, and we're not allowed to go, and by the way, I only get to see you for a few seconds, but good luck, because I knew you did well last week. You got 42nd, right? Cross-country, the only event we're getting 28 is actually really good, right? And then the next day, or even a text that night, hey, how'd it go? Just that little connection that, hey, somebody's thinking about me. But at the same time, you're giving of yourself. You're putting that out there. Sure. And I love giving those very concrete examples that go beyond just believe in yourself, you got this, be positive, try your best. Great lines, all of them great lines. But how do you act on it?
However, inauthentic. Potentially can be inauthentic.
Well,
it's
yeah,
like, hey, good job. And it's like, okay, that's
why was that a good job?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I challenge student leaders, hey, when they go, they're taking in a classroom presentation. They're taking in the musical. They've watched the game. Now they go up to them afterwards and say, that was great.
Yeah.
At least one thing is why it's great. I really found it interesting in your classroom presentation where you compared, hey, that block shot early in the fourth, wow, that was crazy. Or the way you hit that note, that is a tough note to hit. When you point out one specific thing, you're really paying attention.
Really paying attention,
right?
yeah.
And then you hope there's maybe some reciprocal. They go to your activity, but there isn't. Hey, that's okay too, right? I'm giving, I'm putting out this energy. I hope you receive that positive energy and that you know that, I got a list just to hear of just, we have these activities. We have these clubs, councils, and teams. And 85% of your time in school, you spend it in class. So the teacher's going to be here at 8:15 with the door open. Now that's on you. Do you go through the door? Do you get the homework done? Do you listen? All that's on you. And I hope my message can encourage people, students, to do that. And support the teachers where they have their own long days, right? Where they're in a particularly difficult class. They're dealing with their own issues at home, an ill parent, their own child that's maybe experiencing challenges.
They're still people. They're still complex lives. Yeah.
Exactly. And I really enjoy my opportunities to connect with staff and give them some encouragement and to have them, shake my hand afterwards. And the neat thing that, now there's principals who are, 44 and 48 who, I saw you speak in high school. So I'm 55. I've been doing this since 1992. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I I hear those encouragements, and what I see from my own life and the people that I work with, in the work that I do and in my own family and the youth around me, that a lot of it is a concern of reaching out and then finding some sense of rejection, or reaching out and saying, hey, come to that thing. And then you kind of mentioned that of like, but I'm not going to say anything because what if no one else wants to go?
Right.
But there's this authenticity or this dedication to self to say, I'm still going. I'm going to still do it.
Right.
But it seems like there's still barriers to that idea, right?
I have a whole program on that. In fact, that's what I shared in Niagara Falls a week and a half ago in my showcase. So we had 2,350 student leaders and staff advisors from all over Ontario and 3 schools from Quebec, actually. And it's a leadership training I call The Look Bounces Off Me. The look bounces off me. That is, there you are, basketball game, girls basketball, junior girls basketball, first quarter, right? So not necessarily the peak of excitement at that exact moment. It's 5-5. Your friend blocks a shot. You stand up. You realize you're the only one cheering. And if anything, that 16-year-old couple, guy and girl, holding a hand, giving you the look, like, and that they get the look as teenagers, right? Putting their hand up in math class. Hey, I dressed up for the Spirit Day. None of you did. I'm going to change now. Hey, do you want to go to that meeting? You don't. Hey, do you want to go check out that play, that musical, that concert? You don't, right? Somebody offers you a beer, a joint. Oh, come on. Just one. The look changes people if you let it. So I actually do a deep dive. I said, let's analyze the look, shall we? What's behind the look when you get it? And if you actually analyze the look, whether it's at the basketball game and you're cheering when it's 5-5 in the first quarter, or you continue to remain enthusiastic in math, even though literally your best friend sitting beside you is like, oh, I hate math, right? How do you maintain that? And what does the look actually mean? Let's go back to the basketball game. Look at you. You're fun. You're spirited. You're caring and supportive of other people.
How dare you call me those things?
Yeah. You actually analyze it. Yeah. You're fun. You get your hand up in math class. You dance at the dance. You're spirited. You're enthusiastic about the school. And on behalf of anybody who's on the receiving end of spirit, right? That is cheering and applause to enthusiasm. They love it. And you're caring and supportive. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
And then what happens? The look bounces off me. And I challenge student leaders and students to stop viewing the look as a negative thing, but as a compliment.
Sure.
That you're being you. Now, what's leadership? They're not cheering when it's 5-5, but at least they're at the game.
Yeah.
But you know what happens? Now it's towards the end of the second half. There's 1 minute left. It's 35-35, and they are cheering with you. Because who's been a leader the whole time? You.
Yeah.
Maybe your friend hasn't studied or cared about math September, October, late November, out of nowhere. Hey, can I study with you? What? Can I study with you? Oh, yeah, you really seem to know what you're doing. And suddenly out of nowhere, when they're ready to talk, they come talk to you. And you've been that example without the big speech.
Wonderful. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All of this connection, collaboration, teaching our youth how to reach out and be more authentic. Thanks for being on the show, Andy. And I appreciate all the work that you've done. Thank you for watching Stirring Strength, and we'll see you next time.